So making this video can go either way. It could help chain react something to be added in the game, or it could not. But personally, I think Bethesda should really consider bringing back Nuclear Winter, the Battle Royale mode that was once in the game, or some kind of PvP game mode for us to play. Even if it's just for a limited time, like the Fosnon event, Mothman, Equinox, Meat Week, etc., that comes back every now and then. I know there will be some players that will be on board with this, and there will also be others who won't be. On that note, before we get into discussing about this, if you are on board with Bethesda bringing some kind of PvP game mode into the game, consider leaving a like and possibly a comment sometime. And even if you're not on board with this, leave a comment on why Bethesda shouldn't add this. I would love to get some conversation stirred up. You never know, Bethesda could see this. First off, in case you don't know, a while back ago, Bethesda added a Battle Royale game mode back in June of 2019. It started as a limited time thing and was to last from June 10th to the 17th. But from its success of first launching, they kept it as a permanent thing. It was going good at first, but it slowly dwindled down and eventually got removed, unfortunately, due to low player count and not being able to fill Nuclear Winter lobbies. So Bethesda didn't really think it was worth it to keep it in. So in September of 2021, it was removed. However, since then, Bethesda has rolled out many different updates to Fallout 76 to help with its quality of life. And they now have more tools in their toolbox to work with the development of 76. Which means if they did decide to put it back, they would have a better chance at maintaining quality updates for the game mode. For the most part, from my personal experience, I didn't have too many issues when playing Nuclear Winter, to be real with you guys. I thought for the most part it ran smooth, and there are plenty of other players who wanted to return too, as you can see with some of these comments I've had on past videos. Check this out. This person said, Nuclear Winter never got a chance. The player base was small when it was around. It was such a nice break from the overworld grind. Me and my friend always talk about hoping it comes back. And this comment had plenty of positive replies too about Nuclear Winter. And there's way more than just these comments. As you can see, Nuclear Winter would get me to come back, to be honest. Love Nuclear Winter. Made many great friends, all of which wanted to come back. If they add Nuclear Winter, I would literally drop every other game I am playing for real. And this had 38 likes on it. And there were more players talking about wanting it to return too within the replies of this comment. And even people that don't like PvP games actually enjoyed this Battle Royale mode. As you see here from this comment, I hate most PvP games and I only played Nuclear Winter once and it was amazing, but I never got to play it more. It should definitely come back. Still miss the Nuclear Winter. It was the only PvP Battle Royale I actually ever enjoyed. And one of the few things I ever posted was my solo Bush Wookiee play. Morgantown win followed by Flatwood second place. Bush Wookiee play means he hid in a bush for the win. This person said, did they ever bring Nuclear Winter back? That's why I quit the game. I thought it was back and was ready to reinstall the game. Nope, back to the Mojave for me. This person said over one of my Nuclear Winter videos in the past, I do miss this. It should really come back. Bethesda or whoever's in charge now should really have this game mode come back because the other Fallout worlds are garbage in my opinion. Here's another one about one of my past Nuclear Winter videos. I miss this game mode so much. It was honestly the most fun I've had in a PvP game since Halo 3. Still isn't a fun current multiplayer like it. It was great to be able to play PvE, waiting for the whole group to play. Or when you are tired of one another, switching back and forth because the regular game and Nuclear Winter were two very different experiences. All friends can't wait too for the game mode to return. Even have some people who said they'll call off work just to play it when it comes back. I miss Nuclear Winter. It was such a different way of playing and it was so much fun. If they would have fixed the issues, then we would still be enjoying it today. Man, I wish they'll bring Battle Royale Fallout back. But yeah, I mean, there's even more comments than just that. I'm not going to sit here and make this whole video about reading comments. I'm just trying to make a point that plenty of players do want it to return, not just myself. I'll lastly, though, read this comment because this person does make a good point. There's been a massive wave of players asking for Nuclear Winter back. If enough players want it back and voice it, Bethesda will bring it back just like they implemented things that started out as suggestions in the community. Don't get the doomer attitude of it's never going to happen because it only won't with that opinion. Go on their socials, put up a billboard in your camp and game, write some feedback or suggestion through their official channels. I don't know. To everyone with an interest in Nuclear Winter in the 76 community, if you want it back, act like it. Totally agree with this guy. And that's what I'm trying to do right here in this video. Actually, speaking of, I decided to reach out to John Rush, Bethesda's creative director for Fallout 76, about this topic of returning the Nuclear Winter Battle Royale or creating some kind of special PvP game mode for us Fallout players to play together and against each other on, even if it was just for a limited time. After all, he is the guy who calls the shots for Fallout 76 and puts things into existence. And here was his response, which by the way, I asked him if it was okay to post this before uploading it to a video. He didn't mind this being public information, But yeah, here's what he said. It's a good question. I get asked this a lot in interviews. Over the years, we've come to know our player base so much better. Before launch, we would have suspected everyone would want to kill one another and compete. But it turns out our community just wants to play together and help one another. While I recognize the merit a feature like Nuclear Winter could bring, there are other ways to scratch that itch without encroaching on the helpful spirit of the player base. Question for you. Like I said, I get asked this a lot. But what would this bring to the game from your perspective? And here's how I responded to this. Thanks for the response. I personally think this would bring another avenue for players to play with each other once they get done adventuring around and playing together in the regular wasteland. Instead of them hopping off and going to play a PvP game, they can still get that itch scratched by staying logged into Fallout 76. Also, simultaneously, they could earn unique rewards that could benefit their camps, looks, etc. I believe adding Nuclear Winter would also make less players to grief or try to PvP in regular adventure mode. When they want to PvP, they can just go into the Battle Royale mode. PvP, as you might know in the regular wasteland, is very unbalanced due to spamming aid items, etc., which is why you see most players not wanting to engage into combat with each other. Most of the time, it's about who has the most aid items to spam, like Nuka-Cola Quantums, Stealth Boys, and damage boosters to benefit their PvP. Once a player experiences how unbalanced it is, they don't try to engage in it as much anymore. Nuclear Winter or a PvP game mode in general could help create that balance for players. Now, I know that isn't the only thing that makes PvP in adventure mode unbalanced. I know, of course, it also has things to do with like the armor for damage resistance, the kind of weapons and perk cards too, but it also has a lot to do with spamming certain things as well. In the Battle Royale mode, we didn't really have to worry about this because we all started the same in a sense. Like we all started without nothing, like no armor and no weapons. We had to go around finding it. And even if they didn't want to re-add Nuclear Winter Battle Royale mode since it was on a larger scale, they could just do something on a smaller scale where it requires less people to fill the lobbies for us to start, and we could all just start balanced. He did mention that the Fallout player base doesn't like to compete with one another, but I think the main reason why we don't combat with each other for some fun is because in adventure mode it's extremely unbalanced, like I mentioned in my response. If we had some kind of balanced PvP game mode, I think a lot of us would have fun playing together like that. But yeah, anyways, I carried on and said that's just a few reasons I can think of off the top of my head. Also in the past, I literally recreated Nuketown from Call of Duty with some buddies and simulated balanced PvP matches within Nuketown. I did this by setting ground rules like popping a Rad-X to get rid of our mutations temporarily. We couldn't heal, we all used the same weapon, etc. The players loved it, it got positive feedback from the community. And yeah, that is true. As you can see here, here's a little bit of gameplay of it in action, and there were positive comments about it. Here's just a few of what players said. What a creative idea. A separate area in 76 like this for PvP would be a fantastic idea. This is a clear example of why game companies should watch players and content creators. Imagine all the great ideas they would have. This totally needs to be some type of game mode in 76. Shorter matches, not as long as Nuclear Winter was. I wish they would just add this. You did such an amazing job with it, 10 out of 10. Seriously, a great marketing idea for Bethesda. Easy to do and lots of people would join. Awesome as always, Rifle. So yeah, that's just a few comments over this gameplay. I'll have a link down below in the description to this video if you want to further investigate how it all went down and more of the comments. But yeah, we just simulated balanced PvP matches within this Nuketown recreation that me and some other players built in a shelter. But yeah, anyways, here's what the creator director said to my response. He said, I think I saw my son playing that a little while back. That's cool. Which he's talking about Nuketown in Call of Duty. He saw his son playing that in Call of Duty. Anyways, carrying on here, he said, a lot of what you've mentioned above is being looked into and adjusted. I appreciate your insight, good answers. Usually people just say they want it back for the rewards. And then I respond saying, awesome, hope you take it into consideration. And no, I could care less about the rewards. We can still earn the majority of them through specific public events. So yeah, that's pretty awesome that this could be a possibility that Bethesda could add a PvP game mode for us. They could possibly return the Battle Royale mode, or they could, create some other kind of, smaller scaled PvP mode. And after all, if it is limited time, they shouldn't have to worry about enough player count. I'm sure there's going to be tons of players engaging in it if it is limited time. Like, for example, Trials of Osiris in Destiny. That only comes on the weekends, and that is filled with players excited to play it on the weekends. But yeah, it's also good to know that the team is looking into adjusting PvP in general in adventure mode. We could start to see more balance, hopefully sometime in the future. He didn't give an exact date of this update, but he did mention it is being looked into and adjusted. And even if this does get adjusted, honestly, I think there will always be unbalanced things happening within PvP adventure mode just because of different kinds of armor, weapons, mutations, perk cards, and stuff. Personally, I think a separate game mode where everyone starts fairly with the same kind of armor, weapons, and whatnot would be much more fun to play together and against each other. But yeah, this PvP arena where we recreated Nuketown to play against each other in wasn't the only PvP arena that we made in the past. There's this other forest themed one that I worked on in the past that we had bow only fights in while wearing the ghillie suit too, which is something you could unlock in Nuclear Winter when hitting a certain rank. As you can see, here's a little bit of it in action. And once again, it was the same kind of ground rules we did. We popped the Rad-X in the beginning because that temporarily gets rid of your mutations. We took away pretty much all of our perk cards, well, the ones that would give us damage resistance and extra damage. And we made sure we all used the same weapon and had no armor on as well. And I'm telling you, it was a lot of fun playing this. There was also this other PvP arena I made where it was high up in the sky, and there was like these openings in the arena where if you go through the opening, you'd fall to your death. So yeah, that created some extra intensity. Loads of fun with PvPing each other in the past. After all, it is just another way we could play together within this Fallout Online experience. I think it's good talking about this in our wants for the game because you never know what could be chain reacted into the game if enough players want it in Fallout 76, or if Bethesda thinks it will benefit them. Like, in case you don't know, me and some of the people I was playing with years ago for a video of experimenting with nukes at certain locations helped get shelters in Fallout 76. As you can see, I posted this video 6 years ago, and here's what was said for an idea during the video.
Oh man, how cool would that be? Like, you know, there's floor safes in this game. What if you could put something in your base that just said like nuclear bunker room, and it was a little door you put in your floor on your base, and then you like get your own loading instance in your base, and you could like customize a little room.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Just to protect you from nukes.
Yeah.
Because I feel like whenever a nuke hits your base, you're always like, well, I'm just gonna get off the game and reload in. But if you had a little safe room in your base, you wouldn't mind your base getting blown up if you can survive it and just repair everything from in there, like, for science.
Right? That would be cool. That's a really good idea. And even after this video was made, there was also conversations being started up on Reddit, too, about this idea over shelters being implemented. Well, bunkers. And as you can see in the comments of this video as well, if you go to newest, like the ones who have watched this the most recently and commented, as you can see, this person said, 9 minutes. This conversation aged well. 8:38. Little did he know. Shelter confirmed 2 years before they came out. Yo, this video aged pretty well considering your friend's idea about the shelters. Turns out they added a bunker instance that allows you to survive a nuke now. 9:05. This dude predicted shelters. Yeah, literally, this video was made on June 1st of 2019, and it accumulated quite a bit of views. As you can see, over 80,000 views. And literally, almost 2 years later, in December of 2020, they released shelters into the game. Instance areas that we can go to be, once again, protected from nukes, but also be able to build in them too, which gave us a whole new layer of camp budget to use as well. And I'm not saying we're the only reason why shelters became in the game. I'm just saying we helped get them chain reacted into the game by talking about the idea of them. I know there were other players as well within the community that helped with this too. Pretty awesome. Not only did I help with chain reacting that into existence in the game, also me and the community helped get the limited time Mothman Equinox event in Fallout 76 too. As you can see here, I made this tweet a long time ago in 2020 stating this. Retweet this if you think Bethesda should add the Mothman Festival as a limited time event in Fallout 76, just like in real life. I mean, they have the Fosnot celebration as a limited time event, so why not the festival? I wonder if they'll consider it if this gets 500 retweets. Unfortunately, it didn't reach that goal of 500 retweets, but it did chain react more conversations to be stirred up on Reddit. As you can see, I posted it on my Twitter talking about this information. Here's one of the posts. Hey, you guys should add a Mothman Festival like the one in real life and have it give you some cool new items. Here's another one. Mothman Festival? The Mothman Festival is a thing in September and you even sponsored it last year. I think so. What if the cultists set a Mothman Festival, maybe exclusive stuff like Fosnot or something like it? Literally at the bottom here, someone commented saying Rifle Gaming said this too on his video where he went to Point Pleasant. It would be a great event for them to do in game and would bring attention to the Mothman Festival the city holds every year. And yeah, I did make a video over this as well called Fallout 76 Mothman Event Fan Concept. I made this actually 5 years ago on March 12th of 2020. And yeah, eventually Bethesda made this a thing in the game on December 8th, 2021. Pretty awesome, right? And the reason why I'm even mentioning how Bethesda listened and actually added things that the community were wanting in the game is because, once again, you never know what could be chain reacted in the game if you start talking about it more and trying to get it in the game. I just showed you proof of 2 major updates that were talked about in the past and ended up being implemented in Fallout 76 in the future. Just for some proof that Bethesda does listen sometimes. May not listen every time with all of our ideas, but if they realize the vast majority want it, they more than likely will consider it. Because after all, in the end, they are a business and they want to stay afloat, and if it's something that the community does genuinely want, they'll add it because it'll help their business. So yeah, I guess I'll just end the video here. Just wanted to make a dedicated video over this topic. Would love to get some more talk about this coming to Fallout 76 and hopefully chain react some kind of PvP game mode in the game. I guess to end it here, I'm going to leave you all with a question, because literally the creative director asked me as well, if they did add this kind of game mode, for those of you that feel like taking the time answering, what would this bring to the game from your perspective? I'm out of here, everyone. As always, most importantly, appreciate y'all taking the time watching and listening. Hopefully we can get some kind of PvP game mode back to Fallout 76. That'd be incredible. Until next time though, guys, peace.